because we had no logs. We could have possibly recreated those from their backup tapes, the backup archives, with a lot of difficulty. But in general, we advise them with some ways to run some scripts and go and grab those on a periodic basis and then store them off, and before you overwrite them. And then, of course, just grabbing the audit data doesn't do anything if nobody looks at it. They needed to have some tools in place so somebody could parse through those and make sense of them and see if something malicious was happening. Because, to be honest, if they saw that the temp.temp 100 meg file going out containing all kinds of vital data to the company, and it was going out to some unknown website, log review might have been able to pick that up. Back to that issue of disclosure we mentioned a little bit earlier. Here's a question for you. Is there really a good reason to disclose a vulnerability to the public if there's no patch and there's no evidence of the exploit in the wild? You would probably have a hard time convincing me of that. But once it's out there, makers of antivirus and tools, IA scanners, IDS, IPS really depend on some of that detailed vulnerability data to be able to update their products and create signatures and so forth. So you might think, okay, well, antivirus vendors probably have a lot of their own raw data that they collect anyway. That's probably true. But I bet a lot of them go to places like Millworm, which has exploit code, and Bug Track and Full Disclosure, and places like that in order to get the latest and greatest information so they can update these tools and make everybody safer. The bad guys already have the information, right? It's the good guys that don't have it if you're not disclosing. So at this point, I think the best strategy for us as the information assurance community is to really raise awareness about the vulnerabilities that are out there, try to get everybody as much relevant information as possible, and apply pressure on those vendors to get patches out quicker. How does this all fit back into the CNCI that we mentioned earlier? Well, there's a few places. Like one, expanding education, might be a place where you could say don't click on that attachment, and they're talking about not just education at the university level, they're saying, or a professional level, but all the way like K through 12, teaching kids at an early age about cybersecurity. Another area is these leap ahead technologies, coming up with new ways to find zero-day attacks, anomalous behavior detection, not just look for signatures, but look for bad behavior. A program that tries to do a delete star.star on your file system, probably not an allowable behavior, right? So things like that, you're trying to look for something. Maybe you haven't seen a signature of it before, but you know that you should block that bad behavior. And then another area is this one right here. If we had a really good way to get together and connect and share cyber threat information, of course minus attribution, we don't want to embarrass anybody. I think we could be on top of these things a lot quicker. We know that this third party, who was a partner with this other company, had known about this particular attack for a long time, several months. And had they been able to share this information earlier, if there was some kind of consortium or something that they're in, this company would have been able to put the protections in place to have avoided the whole attack. So some final thoughts here. I say the best defense is information. Like I said, knowledge of this attack had been known for a long time before our client was targeted. The underground is really good at sharing information. But we're not. The white hat community, information assurance practitioners are not. Why is that? So we really need this system. InfraGuard is a good start. That's an FBI and industry cooperative engagement where we're trying to get together and share data, but we need to take InfraGuard a step further. We really need to have some kind of maybe nationalized database where you can authenticate to this thing and you can share threat and vulnerability data in a timely manner so it can get out to the people that need to have it, and they can update their systems accordingly. All right, there you go, a real world example, and hopefully you'll help us as future security practitioners be able to implement this and bring it to fruition. Any questions?
Jeremy, you may want to mention that there are potential employment opportunities, whether now or in the future, with you guys.
Absolutely. So talked about Sypris Electronics. We're down in Tampa, Florida. Sunny Tampa, 70 plus degrees down there today. And we have, we have a hardware, systems, software, security engineering capability for these secure communications products and services that we're trying to bring to the government, especially in the CNCI areas. And we have a large manufacturing and production capability as well. So if you have a desire to work in that area and bring your skill sets, your knowledge of computer engineering and computer science, IT, and bring it to bear, working in some exciting areas and helping shore up our national infrastructure, then we'd love to talk to you. And my director of engineering, Hal's right back there. He'll take your resume on the spot. Any other questions?
Were the servers located in Russia?
Excuse me?
The CNC servers, the command and control server, is that the same one that I think maybe 2 years back there was some buffer overflow, same Adobe buffer overflow attacks, and the command and control servers were from Russia. So are
I'm not
they
at
the same guys?
I'm not at liberty to say about the nationality that we think was behind the attack, but it did appear to be a nation state trawling for information on future products and strategy and company direction, and that was it was a widespread attack. This was not the only person targeted, but I can't say who.
Okay.
Any other questions? Maybe afterwards you can ask about Jeopardy.
Yeah, ask me about Jeopardy. Everybody always likes to hear about Jeopardy.